The men are leaving. The men are leaving. They're going fast. They're going fast. Grab one. Grab one. Grab one. If you don't have one, grab one. Anyone. Just grab. They're leaving. They're going overseas.
You guys know that there's a trend encouraging men to all get passports and travel abroad. It's not just for sights or good food. No. It's to find wives. To find women who are more traditional. They're traveling all across the world just to find women who are more humble, more feminine, and willing to treat their men better than women in the US. Traveling to places like Italy, Thailand, Brazil, just to find women who will treat them right. The passport bros ideology is that they're escaping the hatred of feminist women and are traveling somewhere they can thrive. They believe the ideology that by seeking foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is seen as a way to restore the natural balance between masculine and feminine energy. This is triggering some women because they think that these men are interested in finding these women. They think they will be more submissive. I'm not sure if this trend / movement is gonna end or only get worse. What do you guys think?
Honestly, this should have happened years ago.
Something that fascinates me the most about passport bros is the actual journey to take their life overseas or to find a woman overseas. Because there is one man that I know of that I guess you could call a passport bro. He's, in the community. And what happened was he's got either 2 or 3 kids, and I'm pretty sure he is a doctor, retired at this point. He divorced from his wife when the kids were in college. And I don't know exactly what got him to Thailand, but he ended up marrying a woman younger than his kids. So his kids are in his late 20s. The woman was in her mid 20s and she has a small child. And I saw footage of the wedding, and they hired this big time videographer to make this very big romantic to-do about it. And what was most notable about the video was his daughter in the video literally looking like she's ready to vomit. She was completely sick about it. And you have to realize, or he has to realize, and probably doesn't care, that he has completely blown up his entire life to now have this new life with this woman in Thailand because he's decided to start living there. And it fascinates me that, what is it that gets men to the point where they say, whatever it is that I have going on here in the United States or in the UK or whatever it is, whatever life I have here, it's so uncomfortable that it's worth the discomfort of completely losing this. So oftentimes I know that they are men who are divorced. Well, that means that they probably have children up from their first marriage. And oftentimes kids don't really like what it is that their dad is doing, especially if it means abandoning them, especially if it means abandoning potential grandchildren so that he can have a new wife that is the same age as his kids from his first marriage. In many countries, there is a nickname for passport bros. It's LBH, loser back home. And, it really does ring true. And what's even sadder about it is, we know some of the passport bros don't really have anything going on at home, so they have nothing to lose. What makes it really sad is some of them actually do have things to lose.
What nobody is talking about here is the fact that how much has this man endured to have taken a step so huge that he flipped his life around and decided to leave the country altogether.
You like passport bros?
What is a passport bro?
Okay, passport bros are men that are so fed up with Western women because we're all apparently so woke and so terrible and Western women don't want to be wives that they are now going to other countries to find wives.
That's like which countries?
Southeast Asia, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic.
So it's like the opposite of the mail order bride.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Okay, so they're
yes.
instead of ordering out.
Yes, and bringing them here.
Right,
they're like, we want to get out.
It feels more expensive, but
It is. So a lot of these men get remote jobs And so they go there and they live in these countries and then they meet these women. And then women in the Western world, specifically the United States, are so pissed off about it. And they're like, you're going to all these countries where these women don't even know how to speak.
Yes. The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have
As I'm Charmaine and I'm 23 years old.
And then the men
Bachelor of
like,
Science in
film
Computer
themselves
Engineering.
with these women and like show themselves on dates. And the women are so elegant and they're so well spoken and they're so traditional. And they're like,
Also,
look at these women.
are delusional about women overseas.
She's exactly the reason why men rather go overseas and find women than settle for these psychos in the Western world.
I hate to break it to you. I think that we've just got a very, very selfish culture of women. And to any women out there that say I have internalized misogyny or anything like that, that would require that I have a problem with women worldwide. I do not have a problem with women worldwide. I have a problem with Western women. And if you think that I'm just like making this up out of nowhere, reflect on the fact that there are Western men that are flying out east to find wives. Are Eastern men coming out west to find wives? No. Where in the world are men flying out in droves to marry American women? Nobody wants us. Why? We're big, we're selfish. We don't want to hear anything. You can't tell me to eat less. You can't tell me to change my life. You can't tell me it's not about me.
Western man would rather stay alone than be with a person who thinks she's the most important thing in the world while bringing nothing to the table herself.
I'm not required to clean up after you. I'm not required to cook for you. I'm not required to do anything for you, right? Because you did not come out of me. I'm not your mom.
What is going on with Western women? The indoctrination's telling women that they should be independent. They shouldn't expect anything from a man.
They complain that they're not your mom, but expect you to pay for everything like their dad.
What I can appreciate about Passport Bros is I think it's an effective flag being raised for Western women as well. I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to find someone. I'm not saying that they're not going to get screwed over. I'm not even necessarily saying that I would encourage men to go do it. Like you said, if you want to, cool. The motivation for it is the fact that men are still expected to act very traditionally. They're expected to be very chivalrous. They're expected to be protectors. Maybe they're not expected to provide to the same extent now that women can essentially match them on income. But if that's what a man's duty to you is, to be chivalrous, it's very, very loosely defined what a woman's duty to a man is.
It's very ambiguous.
And that is why I think they go to places where they are actually taught from a young age how to treat a man. What is your duty to a man?
Men here are still expected to protect, provide, and stay chivalrous. But in return, they get disrespect, ego trips, and endless entitlement. There's no balance.
We live in a world today, and over the space of the last 20-ish years, women have not only equal rights, better rights, for the most part, in the Western world. The only women I hear complaining about equality of rights is Western women. I never hear that from my mom's Eastern European friends or, Middle Eastern friends. They never talk about it, ever, right? And there is actual oppression that goes on in some Middle Eastern country. That is undeniable, right? But you've got these Western women who don't want to admit their own privileges, simple things like, if you are a woman, as long as you're not, and it's really not that hard, you're gonna have a man who will take care of you.
Exactly. In the West, women have not just equal rights. They often have more rights and societal privileges than men. Yet they're still the loudest complainers. Meanwhile, women in other regions stay humble, resilient, and grateful.
So, what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030 or something, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas, and then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.
This has to be the ultimate version of congratulations, you played yourself.
One of the things you guys were talking about, what makes a traditional woman? One of those things is modesty. Posting photos of your ass on Instagram is not being modest.
No, but I actually
we're not traditional though. We're not traditional.
That's cool.
But
then enjoy your 50-50 relationships.
Enjoy
your 50-50 relationships. Then when someone breaks into your house, you guys can defend it.
Well, duh. I shoot guns and I'm a boxer, so yeah.
See, here's the thing. This is one of the primary issues in modern dating. Non-traditional women want men to adhere to their traditional gender roles. You want men to be men, but you want to go post your shit on Instagram. You want to f*** around and be loose and be promiscuous.
No, what do you mean?
These women are completely lost. These women are the reason why American men are going overseas to find normal women. This dude said it straight. Western dating lacks basic gratitude. You drop money, effort, time, and all you get is entitlement. Meanwhile, in places like Colombia, women actually value partnership. They don't expect luxury, they respect effort.
Pretty much any first world English-speaking country, Australia, New Zealand, etc., where feminism is pretty prominent. Do you think Western women are traditional?
No. I think we're definitely like getting further away from what was traditional. I think it's important to break tradition, so it's like, yeah.
Okay, so you say no and it's a good thing.
Yeah, I do think so, 100%.
This here is the sole reason why passport bros are a thing.
Men are traveling out of the U.S. just to find a wife. I was watching a podcast the other day, and it went on to explain why men are traveling out of the States to find a wife. To sum it all up, they say that women from other countries are well-educated, classy, elegant, very feminine, and they understand how to give and take in relationships, instead of being demanding, entitled, and ungrateful for things that men do for them. And I'm not saying all, but some women in America have grown so entitled and demanding. Basically, they think that they can treat a man however they want and they can get away with it. Treat a man poorly, and then they criticize their looks when they're not in the best shape themselves. Agree or disagree all you want, but men do like feminine women. They like when women behave feminine, and they like when women take care of themselves. Want a good man, but they're tired of our BS. So much, in fact, that they're traveling overseas just to find a wife that respects them.
It's odd that no men from other countries come here looking for a woman.
I could offer my whole self. No secrets and all. Loyalty, faithfulness, everything that could make him happy.
You ever hear a Western woman talking about how she's gonna make her man happy? No. You know what we hear from the West? What a man can do to make me happy. What a man can bring to the table for me. What I can benefit. How I could spend his money.
And people would call her submissive. It only means she knows how to love a man and take care of him. Because that's how a high-value woman should be.
You know what's interesting? I see immigrants come to this country, right?
Okay. They get whacked.
Yeah, immigrants come to this country, right? Right? Guy brings his wife, right, and kids, and he could barely have a job. Maybe he's on welfare, struggling, etc. But his wife is still at home, cooking and cleaning, taking care of the kids, and he could barely provide, but he's trying his hardest, right? But he doesn't have to pay all the bills and do all this extra shit and have a big and have status and all that to get his girl to stay at home. Like, the wife stays at home because in her culture, it's shameful to be at a nightclub shaking your ass with a bunch of other men. It's like kind of weird. It's unacceptable. Haram! But here in America and in the West, in the UK too, like, it's completely socially acceptable for women to put themselves in compromising situations for the relationship and think, I want to be independent, I should be able to do what I want to do, etc. But you got immigrant women coming from other places that have no money. Their guy can't even provide for them a lot of time, but they understand basic loyalty and duty. It's wild to me.
But is the woman staying at home and he's going to work?
That's literally what I just said.
Okay then.
Good Western women get this completely. Unfortunately, there are a ton of women all over the world that forget what's important in a relationship.
Before I come to America, I didn't understand why so many American men came overseas to Ukraine to get wives. So for me it was very strange why men go so far away, spend so much money and etc. And today I understood why. I think because we have much bigger family values and we love to feel like a woman and we love to see the man like a man, and I think I'm a bit older than all of you girls, and I can tell you in my 36 years old, I love when men care about me. I love sometimes when he tell me what to wear because it's a care, it's a love. How man else can show you the love? If he just wanna fuck you, he don't care what you're wearing. Believe me, he don't care. He just come and fuck you and leave. But if he care about you, he tell you, baby, please do this, do that. So this is care, this is kind of love. So just appreciate it.
Wow. Wow. That's the real statement of a true woman because she understands the real nature of man.
Why do you think so many men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries?
Men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries? Why? I'm right here. I'm single. Why? I want to be married.
Right, but I'm saying, do you typically see women traveling overseas to find husbands?
If men are traveling overseas to countries that have less money and less education, it's because they want a woman who is dependent on them for their livelihood, for their resources, to have a good life. And I don't think that that is a good thing.
A lot of the men I know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
Stay away from such women.
Why American men are seeking wives from other countries. 1. Changing gender roles and expectations in the U.S. In recent decades, traditional gender roles in the United States have evolved. Today, many American women have become highly assertive and career-focused, valuing independence and equality. According to the Pew Research Center, about 57% of American women now have a bachelor's degree or higher. A shift that has reshaped relationships. Some American men, feeling that traditional gender dynamics have changed, seek wives from other countries where roles may still be more traditional. 2, fear of conflict and legal action. Another reason cited by American men is the fear of escalated conflict and legal repercussions. In the U.S., domestic disagreements can quickly result in police involvement or restraining orders. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, roughly 1 in 3 women have experienced some form of domestic violence in their lifetime, an important issue. Yet, some men worry that even minor arguments could be misconstrued and lead to serious legal or reputational damage, making them wary about pursuing long-term relationships. 3, seeking simplicity and harmony. For many American men, looking for a wife in another country is about finding a partner who embraces traditional family roles and prioritizes harmony within the household. They are often drawn to women from cultures where respect, nurturing, and loyalty are highly valued. This doesn't imply that American women lack these traits, but for some men it feels harder to find such dynamics within their own society. 4, the impact of globalization and online dating. Modern technology has made it easier for American men to connect with women across borders. According to a 2023 Statista report, over 30 million Americans have used international dating platforms, and many have found long-term relationships this way. The accessibility of online connections allows men to seek compatibility beyond their immediate geographic area. 5, criticisms and challenges. While this trend reflects a personal choice, it has also been criticized. Some argue that seeking foreign spouses can be rooted in a discomfort with women's empowerment or an attempt to find more submissive partners. Others point out that cross-cultural relationships present their own challenges, including language barriers, family expectations, and potential misunderstandings. Summary. The trend of American men seeking wives from other countries is shaped by changing gender roles, fear of legal entanglements, and a desire for traditional family dynamics. While it reflects real concerns and personal priorities, it also highlights the evolving nature of relationships in a globalized world. In the end, mutual respect and understanding remain the foundation of any successful marriage, regardless of nationality.
Men in general, not American men. Men need love, respect, support, appreciation, understanding, and attention, as well as a sense of security and trust.
Why do you think more men are seeking relationships overseas?
So overseas women typically is a one-man thing, you know, like say for the Muslims, for example. The only person that sees their face is their father and their husband and their mother. That's it.
So it's not like Western society where any and every chick is coming out with her tits and her ass out.
Exactly. You see, that's why it comes back to respect again. You know what I'm saying? If she has respect for you, she knows, hey, this is for my man. You don't need to see that.
Comparatively speaking, you have a lot of instant gratification here. You get dating apps and social media and all that. Everything is instant. You want to see the girl down the street naked? Get on OnlyFans. You want to go see girls with their tits and ass out? Come down to the club any weekend night. The thing is, like you said, traditionally, you know, Eastern cultures don't do that. Men love the instant gratification, but at the same time, you have this traditional Christian set of values that everyone wants. So you want your wife to sit at home, cook, clean, and make babies. But how realistic is that nowadays? You gotta give and take. Like, you can look overseas, but at the end of the day, you're just gonna be bored again. You're gonna get on OnlyFans and see a girl down the street naked anyways.
This is the truth. It's sad that some people find this toxic.
Now, according to this video, by the year 2030, more than half of the women living in the West, the USA, will be single due to the fact that majority of our men are going overseas to find their brides. I want you guys to take a look at this video and then give me your honest opinion in the comment section. Take a look.
So what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030 or something, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas, and then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.
Ladies, how are we feeling about this? Men, do you agree? Let me know. Like, comment, and share. Later.
There's a reason why there's no movement of men from abroad coming to the U.S. to find an American wife.
God, I love it when a passport bro tells me that I'm jealous that American men are leaving the United States and not looking at American women. Because the ones that are leaving the United States to go find themselves a bride overseas are exactly the ones that we never wanted. I mean, and it's really obvious here. There's two really big things that stick out. It's like the emperor's not wearing clothes. Number one, you mean to tell me, sir, you have exhausted all of your dating options, which forces you to go overseas to seek a bride who really is only interested in your American dollars. It's really that bad. You got nothing. Because women, they have options every day. That is the case for all women. All women have options because women are always going to be desired by men. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Number two, and this one is even more obvious. You mean to tell me that you can either put your life substantially on hold to go seek your overseas bride, or completely abandon and pack up the life that you have here and start it somewhere else? That tells me a lot about your job, okay? It means that whatever it is that you're doing is not that important and thus not that high paying, okay? Because if you can just quit your job, well, you don't have income coming in. If you can just up and go, that means, you probably don't have a really great work history or work ethic anyway. You are obviously not a business owner, because small business owners cannot abandon their business, sometimes not even for a week. Someone who's really dedicated and ambitious, they're not going on long vacations, or they're working during they don't have time to go seeking kitty cat in another country. If it is some sort of really important position, they're not taking the time away from their number one love. A man's number one love is his money, and he makes his money from his job. He's not taking the time away from his number one love unless that thing is really not yielding much and is that unimportant.
The harsh reality is the options are far better, and Western women are too arrogant to accept it. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.